Americans are at risk of losing their paychecks this holiday season if Congress doesn't pass a deal to keep the government funded. A bipartisan spending bill collapsed yesterday after billionaire Trump backer Elon Musk whipped up outrage online, slamming the deal for wasteful spending. President-elect Trump then issued a scathing statement ordering Republicans not support the bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson declined to answer questions after meeting with Vice President-elect J.D. Vance overnight. If Congress fails to reach a deal by Saturday, millions of federal workers will either be furloughed or asked to work without pay, including some members of the military and critical government workers like TSA agents and air traffic controllers.
I'm not going to say anything else more about it tonight because we're in the middle of these negotiations, but I think we'll be able to solve some problems here, and we'll keep working on it.
The bipartisan spending bill includes $250 million to increase child care access, $25 million to protect the homes of Supreme Court justices, and a 3.8% pay raise for members of Congress. But the biggest share, more than $100 billion, is for disaster relief after Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
We got to have the disaster relief. I can't go home and play like it didn't happen.
I feel very strongly. We don't get disaster in the bill. I'll do everything I can to keep us here until we do.
Democrats say the blame for any shutdown will fall on Republicans who control the House.
House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? So Trump and Elon Musk, they playing hardball with the Democrats. They want over $100 billion in disaster relief, and we need it in this country. Yes, indeed. And they're asking for more money to help with child care. They want to protect Supreme Court judges. And, you know, these guys, Trump, as well as Elon, they believe in the ends justifying the means. That's what's happening right now. They're going to get the job done, however. Now, in case you're not familiar with a bipartisan deal is, because, you know, these terms just get thrown around out here. A bipartisan deal pretty much is an agreement between two major political parties that agree on common grounds when it comes to certain policies and bills. Well, apparently, last minute, Elon Musk went on a frantic rant and Trump backed him up. And they pretty much told all the Republicans not to support the bill that was offered on the table because they believe it's misappropriated wealth. Now, it's a shame that a lot of people are going to have to go without checks. Anybody who has a federal government job, anybody who works in a postal service, certain TSA agents or any federal agent, right? You working for the government and them. We're talking about you can go as long as is 3 months with no paycheck. Sheesh. That's extreme. And what the Democrats are saying essentially is if it does get shut down, it's the Republicans' fault. No, y'all going to have to come to an agreement. That's what's going to happen. Mind you, they're doing all this around Christmas time. Meaning these Republicans, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, they don't give a damn about your Christmas. They don't care. They don't give a damn about you celebrating your holidays or being able to spend money because they clearly believe that the ends need to justify the means, and they seem like they're willing to go all the way. That's what's happening right now. In case you just joining, let me catch you up to speed of what's going on in the news. We're on the verge of a government shutdown.
A bipartisan agreement that they made.
Now, the question is, are these bipartisan agreements worth, or are they able to be renegotiated? Are they able to be renegotiated? So this is what's going on.
Congress now has until Friday night to reach a deal. ABC's Christian Cordero has the details from Washington.
Millions of Americans are at risk of losing their paychecks this holiday season.
Millions of Americans are at risk of losing their paychecks this holiday season. I tell y'all this, man. This is the land of uncertainty. America is the land of uncertainty. You just never know what's going to happen day to day, man. You never know what's going to happen day to day. And this is why I'm always preaching to have certain things lined up and prepared. Now, none of us can afford to go without paychecks for months. But we got to have our bare minimals, our bare essentials, because this type of stuff happens in the government. That's why you shouldn't put all your trust in the government. But anyway, let's go.
If Congress doesn't pass a deal to keep the government funded. A bipartisan spending bill collapsed yesterday after billionaire Trump backer Elon Musk whipped up outrage online, slamming the deal for wasteful spending.
He said the deal for wasteful spending. Now, hold on. What did his caption say? Even seeing a bigger piece of pork. Oh, so he's looking at the deal. Elon is looking at the deal like, this is what you're going to offer us? It's just like they get in the office and they like, no, this is how y'all been spending the money. Nah, we want more than that. We want to be able to distribute the money this way or that way. And you got to understand, Elon Musk is not just a billionaire supporter of Trump's. So the news is not reporting this correctly. Elon Musk has an official position in government at this point. Elon Musk is head of the Department of Government Efficiency. That's right. So if he wants to shut the government down, then by golly, old George, he's going to shut that government down. Now, I don't quite know how I feel about this, but I do understand if you want change, you do have to take drastic measures. If you want change, you have to be extreme to a degree. Do I feel a certain way about people having to suffer or struggle that way? Absolutely. Because this government here is a piece of work. And it'll be tragic if these people have to go without pay, right? But at the end of the day, you know, this is what's going on. Let's go.
For wasteful spending. President-elect Trump then issued a scathing statement ordering Republicans not support the bill. House Speaker Mike Johnson declined to answer questions after meeting with Vice President-elect J.D. Vance overnight. If Congress fails to reach a deal by Saturday, millions of federal workers will either be furloughed or asked to work without pay.
They will either be furloughed or asked to work without pay. Now, the Vice President-elect, he's telling the public, look, we negotiating, don't panic. We're trying to get something done. And I'm telling y'all, in business, this is how it's done. In business, you're going to have to stand on your word, and you have to give people ultimatums in business. And would y'all agree that we do need disaster relief? We do need that $300 billion towards disaster relief. It's a real issue in this country when a hurricane, a wildfire, an earthquake comes, the people are left without anything. They left to a measly $700 or $50, $80. I'm not against what they're doing and I'm not against what they're asking the money for. Put it that way. Wouldn't you all agree that people who lose their homes, they lose everything, they should be entitled to have that type of relief? I do. But at what expense? And somebody says checking on the Amazon workers, they went on strike. I'm going to cover that too in this video.
Including some members of the military and critical government workers like TSA agents and air traffic controllers.
TSA agents, air traffic controllers. We're talking about all these people not getting paid. That's pretty much going to shut airports down. There's already things in the sky going on. And, you know, there's already airports that are shut down, believe it or not. So, hey, it might come down to this, man. But I believe that the Democrats are going to get right. And they're going to stop shifting the blame, saying, well, it's up to the Republicans to shut down. Yeah, it's up to them to shut down, but it's up to you to make an agreement.
I'm not going to say anything else more about it tonight because we're in the middle of these negotiations. But
he said he don't want to say too much about it. They got till Friday night. They're in the middle of negotiations, and this is how you negotiate sometimes. If they're not hearing you, you got to let them know, look, if y'all don't give us what we need to appropriately cipher these finances, we're going to shut down the government. We're going to shut the whole thing down, which means none of y'all getting paid. If we don't do this the right way, none of y'all are getting paid, is what Trump and Elon are saying. And they filthy rich, so they can care less about your government job. They can care less about your paycheck. They can care less about people who work for the government. They don't care. If y'all don't see what they doing, they running their own. Hey, listen, Trump and Elon seem to be calling their own plays to a degree. They probably controlled by a whole nother entity. They trying to run their thing their way. So they can care less. So I'm thinking the Democrats are going to come to an agreement. I really believe they're going to come to an agreement and decide that it's not worth it because they're going to lose money too.
I think we'll be able to solve some problems here.
I believe we'll be able to solve some problems. And sometimes that's how you got to protest. You got to be about action. Look, we'll shut the whole thing down. We don't care. This thing will be shut down till March. People ain't going to be getting mail or none of that. Postal service stop running, all of that. Bills stop coming to your house. When the government shut down, a lot of stuff happens, y'all.
And we'll keep working on it.
The bipartisan spending bill includes $250 million to increase child care access, $25 million to protect the homes of Supreme Court justices, and a 3.8% pay raise for members of Congress. But the biggest share.
Now, that's the thing I was wondering. It says 3.8% pay raise for members of Congress. It says fund government through mid-March. Let's go understanding here. Let's go.
More than $100 billion is.
But the biggest share
For disaster relief
It's for disaster relief. So they're trying to pay Congress more. The Republicans are trying to pay Congress more. The Democrats need to come to an agreement, right? And they want $100 billion on disaster relief. I don't think this is bad.
Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
We got to have the disaster relief. I can't go home.
Here we go. We got South Carolina. He said we got to have that disaster relief. I can't go on and play like it didn't happen. They can't act like people wasn't, going through hell. You can't sit up there and act like people wasn't floating on wooden panels and floorboards and standing on their ceilings and nowhere to run. Like, we need this disaster relief. We need it. Under the Biden administration, they were giving your ass a Happy Meal, a few dollars and a Happy Meal. I'm telling you.
And say, play like it didn't happen.
I feel very strongly. We don't get disaster in the.
Somebody said they're not telling you everything that's in that bill. Well, give me a source that got the bill and I'll read the bill. I'm sure they're not telling us everything. Senate Tom Tiller says, I feel very strongly we don't get disaster in the bill. I do everything to keep us there until we do. So those on the Bible Belt, those Republicans, they want that relief. They want that relief.
Bill, I'll do everything I can to keep us here until we do.
Democrats say the blame for any shutdown will.
And here go Democrats. Look, the blame for any shutdown is a Republican. No, y'all can't make a deal. Last time I checked, the Bible says a land divided cannot stand. If y'all don't sit down and come to an agreement, then this is the consequences. Somebody said, but Congress should get no pay raise. Look, I don't know about that, because if the Republicans broke their bipartisan deal, they might have done that because they want to make sure they stay in the office for the next 8 years. Because, Congress has influence. You want to it's business, baby. This is America. It's like, look, Congress, we're going to throw you 3.8 pay raise. That's what we're going to do for y'all. But we need this disaster relief. We know they printing the money like Monopoly paper anyway. Let's get it.
Will fall on Republicans who control the House.
I mean, now, make no mistake about it. Trump wants to lift the debt margin more. But why the hell not? At this point, we're in trillions of dollars in debt. The deficit will continue to increase until they can get things right. You know, it's a pro and con to everything. Let's go.
House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement that they made.
Some of Musk's criticism is misleading.
I don't know when they made this agreement. Was it a former cabinet that made this agreement? You know, who, and is bipartisan agreements not up for renegotiation? I do find it rather odd how quickly this escalated. 1 minute, we good, waiting for president-elect to take office. Next minute, they talking about breaking some bipartisan deal. Next minute, they talking about shutting the damn government down. Somebody says, why not? Question mark. You clearly don't know much about basic economics. Raising the debt would be terrible. The reason I said why not is because in order for them to get things situated, they're going to have to raise it. They're going to have to raise it. Ain't no way around it. Listen, let me explain something to you. When I said why not, I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is at this point, they have no choice. They have no choice. That's what I'm saying.
Including his claim that $3 billion was for an NFL stadium here in D.C. The bill only transfers control of federal land for the stadium, not new funding. Christian Cordero.
Well, and then there's more in the news. There's more in the news. There's more in the news. We got Amazon getting ready to be shut down as well. And look, I've said this before, man. In America, there's about to be a retail apocalypse. There will be a retail apocalypse. You're going to see storefronts completely gone at some point in time. And our selections for goods is going to shrink immensely. Somebody said Trump can't fix anything. I'm glad you think that way and feel that way, because at the end of the day, you're right. We got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. We got to become self-sufficient. We got to become, driven and motivated to secure our own families, because you're right. Now they trying a whole lot. Whatever they got going on, radical. I would say that. And they are willing to play hardball with the other side. There's no doubt about that. Now, in other news, we also got Amazon being shut down. Another government shutdown that can last months, and now Amazon talking about being shut down. As of January, they talking about TikTok being shut down. Hey, listen, what y'all think happening? I think Babylon as a whole is being shut down. I think they about to shut down the whole Babylon. Anyway, breaking news. Amazon workers launch historic strike. They are live now. Fox News. Thousands of Amazon workers go on strike across the U.S. Yes, the Teamsters Union launches strike against Amazon. Let's go.
Facilities did begin the strike, an effort by the union to pressure the e-commerce company for a labor agreement during a key shopping period. The Teamsters say the workers who authorized strikes in the past few days are joining the picket line after Amazon ignored a December 15th deadline the union set for contract negotiations. Amazon says it does not expect an impact on
It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. With all the folly and cheer. Hang on the mistletoe. Y'all know y'all be getting the spirit when that Christmas music come on. And I get to know you better this Christmas. Shining bright for all to see. And we be caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very Merry Christmas. Shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand. I'm just saying, this Christmas is crazy. Somebody said New Bree Hathaway. I mean, this gotta shake you up. Look, people, this gotta shake you up just a little bit. Just a little bit. When they talking about shutting the whole government down, we don't care who travel. We don't care about none of that. Amazon, look, y'all not getting your packages delivered. Forget all that. Who the hell cares about Christmas when the people are hungry? When the people are starving out here? Who the hell cares about this pagan holiday when there's too many things extremely wrong with the country? Y'all better read y'all Bibles, man. Stop celebrating these pagan holidays. But look, let's go.
Its operations during what the union calls the largest strike against the company ever in U.S. history. The Teamsters say they represent nearly 10,000 workers at 10 of the Amazon facilities, a small portion of the 1.5 million people Amazon employs in its warehouses and in its corporate offices. At one warehouse located in New York City's Staten Island borough, that's where you're looking now, thousands of workers who voted for the Amazon labor union in 2022 and have since affiliated with the Teamsters. At the other facilities, employees, including many delivery drivers, have unionized with them by demonstrating majority support, but without holding government-administered elections. The strikes happening Thursday are taking place at one Amazon warehouse in San Francisco, California, and 6 delivery stations in Southern California and in New York City, Atlanta, and over in Illinois. That is according to the union's announcement. Amazon workers at the other facilities are, quote, prepared to join. That is according to the union.
Now, the reason for this is they're not getting paid enough. They're delivering these packages rain, sleet, and snow. Now, I can tell you right now, they're already setting up for artificial intelligence, robots. The bots is coming. That's why they're not paying you what you deserve. They're about to have these little vehicles that ride around. Ain't nobody going to be driving them. And they are literally going to be delivering your packages. Believe it or not, man, today's trash day. I remember one time I was late. It was one morning, I had to run out there and take the trash out. Snap, forgot to take the trash out. They got trucks where people ain't even driving them no more. Y'all remember when the trash man used to be hanging out the back of the truck? No, they have bots. They have these trucks that come and pick the cans up. They pick the cans up and they dump the cans in, and it's just like clockwork. So if you got extra trash, you got an extra bag, they just leave it there. I'm telling you, the robots is coming. The robots is coming. Somebody said, be grateful. Amazon has work, but please, you workers choose to strike. Get the F out and go back to work. Look, she need her goods. Hey, Liz Delgado is upset. She said, if y'all don't get the blank back to work, she need her toiletries. She need all her packages. She need all that. Nah, they need their paycheck. What about them? They need their paycheck. We so comfortable. We think these people working for free.
The president of Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, said in a statement, quote, Amazon is pushing its workers closer to the picket line by failing to show them that they respect they have earned. The Seattle-based online retailer has been seeking to redo the election that led to the union victory at the warehouse on Staten Island, which the Teamsters now represent. In the process, the company has filed a lawsuit challenging the constituency of the National Labor Relations Board. In the meantime, Amazon says the delivery drivers, which the Teamsters have organized for more than a year, are not its employees. Under its business model, the drivers work for third-party businesses, one of them called Delivery Service Partners, and they drop off millions of packages to customers every day. An Amazon spokeswoman, Kelly Nantle, did say in a statement, quote, "For more than a year now, the Teamsters have continued to intentionally mislead the public, claiming that they represent, quote, thousands of Amazon employees and drivers. They don't. And this is another attempt to push a false narrative." Again, that is.
Well, I don't think that's the right response from Amazon. Because at the end of the day, it's all about money. People need their just due. You know, this Amazon thing is in high demand at this moment. They work at a job that is high demand. Everybody's ordering from Amazon. Everybody's getting deliveries from Amazon. To try to minimize the situation, saying, oh, these people don't really represent us and what we're doing. No, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to rally up a whole lot of people. And they have rallied up a lot of people to stand behind them. But at the end of the day, I don't think Amazon cares because there's other plans in motion. There's other plans in motion. And those plans involve artificial intelligence and robots.
From an Amazon spokesperson releasing a statement to the Associated Press. The Teamsters have argued.
Yeah, that statement that Amazon released was off. They shouldn't have released that statement.
Amazon essentially controls everything the drivers do and should be classified as an employer. Some U.S. labor regulators have sided with the union in filings made before the NLRB. In September, Amazon boosted pay for the drivers and the growing pressure. Again,
Sega Gentleman, he says, brothers, I highly suggest buying retro games and entertainment like DVDs. This digital stuff will end too. I agree with that. I've actually put a lot of thought into that. And I know the importance of it because it's going to be like Fahrenheit 451. It's going to be like Fahrenheit. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie or read the book, but they're going to do away with a lot of this stuff that's digital. They're going to be able to control everything digital. So what you want is you want DVDs or you want cassettes. You want DVD players with some DVDs. Collect those joints. Yes, DVDs. Because if everything digital is under control and they want to shut down something, because I'm going to tell y'all, America is bred in circus. And if they want the people to really get crazy, if they want to really start a revolution, a violent revolution, like one day they will, take away all the jobs, replace it with artificial intelligence, leave the people at home, and then slowly start taking away their circus. Start taking away their entertainment. First, let's take away their Uber Eats. Let's take away their Amazon. Let's take away their Amazon Prime. Let's take away their Netflix. Eventually, if you want the people to really go off, that's what it's going to take. It's the same thing that happened in ancient Rome. When the people don't have nothing else to live for, they're going to wild out because make no mistake about it, people live for entertainment now. People who don't really have the drive to do things outside of the entertainment, they live for it. But I'm telling you, man, this is real. That's real talk. Let's go.
And you can see the signs here that say Amazon is unfair, Amazon strike, a lot of different signs. Do you want to try popping up the audio to see if there is any right now? right, so.
And then soon, it's interesting because TikTok about to get shut down. Look.
Welcome back in year two, live now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Thank you so much for joining us. And as you might imagine by what's on your screen, we're going to be talking about some big news in terms of the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. They will hear a case involving a potential ban of the social media platform TikTok. And I want to get into this just a little bit more here on Live Now from Fox. I want to put up this tweet as well of what we're learning here on Live Now from Fox of this. This is a post talking about it, saying breaking. The Supreme Court says it will hear TikTok's challenge to a nationwide ban in January. The arguments will be on January the 10th, just 10 days before the ban is set to take effect. And this is
so you hear that around January 20th, they talking about banning TikTok. So you see Amazon being shut down, the government's being shut down. They're talking about banning TikTok. Do y'all see what's happening right now? Exactly, Broken Matrix. That's the reason. At least that's what I believe. TikTok is very informative. Very informative. Yes, there's a lot of debauchery and filth on there. But they're not talking about banning Instagram or Facebook that has the same debauchery and filth. They're trying to put the press on TikTok because they refuse to sell, right? The government want to rule it and run it. But there's a lot of things that's informative. There's a lot of young people and old, a lot of people in general who are making 1-minute videos, 2-minute videos, and they're cramming a lot of information in 2 minutes and 1 minute. I don't think the powers that be like that. I don't think they like the fact that a lot of people are waking up from TikTok clips and it's getting people to think. I'm telling you. Now, of course, there's a lot of craziness on TikTok too. And I believe it also spies on people. TikTok is Chinese spyware. Make no mistake about that. But nonetheless, it be some real conscious material being put up. And you know, the government is claiming that they're going to be clamping down. Even under Trump's administration, his cabinet is talking about woke culture, woke news. They talking about clamping down on that kind of stuff. Why? Because a lot of these people trying to rewrite history.
This is big news, as on Wednesday they agreed to decide whether a controversial ban on the social media app violates the First Amendment, adding a major case to its docket this term just before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. All right, let's continue on with our conversation. I do want to bring in right now tech industry leader, CEO, and founder of Chamber of Progress, Adam Kovakovich. Adam, thank you so much for joining.
So here you have it. They talking about shutting down TikTok too. We got to get more news on this government shutdown because I pretty much broke it down to you what's happening. But I like for you to hear it from the Democrat standpoint as well. Because, you know, last time I checked, the government is bipartisan. It's supposed to be bipartisan. But this shows just how divided they really are. Let me see. What is a Democratic news station? CNBC. So Fox News is like Republican. What, CNBC is that Democrat, y'all? Because I don't really be watching the news like that. But I'm gonna give CNBC a chance to see what they. I want to get to
Emily Wilkins in Washington with breaking news. Hi, Emily.
Hey, Scott. Well, as you know, we've been tracking government shutdown.
Somebody said CNN. CNN and CNBC. All right, we on CNBC.
News. And now we just had two lawmakers exit Speaker Mike Johnson's office, saying that there is an agreement now. We do not have any additional details, but both said that the agreement has been reached, that they're expecting details soon, and that they are expecting a vote in the House tonight.
Breaking news.
This was, of course, Tom Cole, who heads the Appropriations Committee, and Stephanie Bice. And when I asked Congresswoman Bice, you know, are you concerned that we might see Donald Trump and Elon Musk scuttle this again? She said no. And they both seem very confident that what they're going to put forward has a chance to pass. Now, of course, we don't know the details. We don't know what it is. Most members have not had the chance yet to look at this bill. So still a lot of hurdles. No guarantee that a shutdown is avoided, but it seems at least we have something of a plan B. Scott?
Let me ask you this. I mean, do we have any idea whether either Musk or the president-elect have any idea what's in the new proposed legislation and whether they've, with quotes, obviously, signed off on it?
Well, from our understanding, Trump has been made aware of the discussions that have been going on today.
So this is breaking news, y'all, that they are sitting down, coming to an agreement, a discussion. It looks like the threats might have worked. It looks like the threats may have worked. I mean, hey, if you want results, you got to do something drastic sometimes. But let's hear what it says.
Been looped in. Certainly all the lawmakers on the Hill have gotten the message that if Trump isn't looped in and doesn't have buy-in, he can kill things pretty quickly. Of course, I think the big question is exactly what does this bill look like? What does it contain? I think it's one of those things that we're not going to quite know what the response is until it's there. But certainly there have been a number of lawmakers from all different corners of the Republican conference going into Johnson's office today, having those discussions. J.D. Vance was a part of it as well. Of course, then again, there's the other question. How much do Democrats agree with what is going to be about to happen? Because remember, even though it's the Republican game in the House, the Senate has to pass this, and that is all Chuck Schumer and the Democrats over there.
And do we have any idea when all of this could make its way to the Senate?
That is a great question. I mean, at this point, we don't have bill text. Remember at the start of this.
So it looks like the Democrats are responding to the threats that Elon Musk, along with President-elect Trump, have made about shutting the government down, and they are writing something up. I'm telling you, they're typing up a bill, and hopefully this country gets some disaster relief. Hopefully some of this misappropriated wealth will go in the right direction. Hopefully this results in a good change. You know, I know that these people are just politicians, the Elon and the president, they just doing their thing. Like, we put our trust in the Most High, but this is interesting what they had to do to come to a conclusion.
This week, we were expecting to see bill text on Sunday. It didn't come out until Tuesday afternoon. Clearly, they can't do that this time because we'd already be in a shutdown, but we are not quite sure. This could be a couple more hours before we see something. It could be a much shorter time period. And I think for a lot of the lawmakers, it seems like they're willing to go late tonight. This might be something where the House votes late, the Senate votes early tomorrow. If they are all in agreement, they could technically get this done and avoid a shutdown. But again, you're going to need a lot of agreement. And as we've seen this week, that is difficult to accomplish.
So that they're showing that they're willing to negotiate. But again, we don't know. This could still result in a shutdown. Somebody said no one wants the headache. Yeah, I mean, people don't want to lose more money. But to a degree, I understand why Trump and Elon Musk did what they did. I get it. If you get offered a bill that you can't make any substantial changes within the country based on what they're offering, you're going to say, look, we'll shut this whole thing down if y'all don't come up with something. Well, the government employees won't be able to work. TSA will be shut down. It's around the holiday time. If you can imagine how frantic they were. And they were like, we don't care. We don't care. It'll be real live Hunger Games out here. That's what it is. It will be real live Hunger Games out here if y'all don't go ahead and give us the bill we desire. It is what it is. And that's pretty much what's happening right now.
When you have margins as narrow as the ones that the House and the Senate have now.
All right. I mean, we also have the president-elect sort of stunning people. That's how it's being characterized in some press reports. Their words, not mine, of the idea of repealing the debt ceiling. So that's kind of an overhang on all of this, too.
So that's what I was talking about, them repealing the debt ceiling, meaning they want to be able to expand it so we'll be in more debt. And I know that sounds crazy, but in order for them to get out of debt, they're going to need the finances, and they're going to need to be able to make certain moves. Look, Trump did this before. It's not the first time he did it. The economy was at a pretty good level under Donald Trump. It really was. It was better than it was these last 4 years. So what Trump is trying to do is appropriate the wealth in other directions to then stimulate the economy. That's what it seems to be the plan. So, I mean, look, America's a debt country anyway. It's a debt country anyway. I know some of y'all are like, no, we can't live more debt. Look, this whole country's ran off debt. You and I have inherited debt that don't even belong to us. Us having credit in general is to substantiate debt. You're born in debt. You're born in debt. Whole country is going to be in debt. They ain't going to never be able to change that, in my opinion. They ain't going to never be able to change that.
It's a huge question, and that was certainly something that I was asking lawmakers who are leaving the room. Is this addressing the debt limit? I mean, the interesting thing here is that there is bipartisan support for addressing it. There's bipartisan support for eliminating it, as Trump mentioned that he would do earlier today. The difficulty is that for a lot of the hardline conservatives in the Republican Party, they wanted an actual debate on the debt limit. They wanted to use it as a chip to actually lower some spending and perhaps reduce the government debt and the government deficit. And they're worried that just by going ahead and raising it now, yeah, they might have to deal with it in a messy battle during the Trump administration, but they could at least get a win when it comes.
Hey, I want y'all to hear that again. Let me play that back again, what she just said.
In the Republican Party, they wanted an actual debate on the debt limit. They wanted to use it as a chip to actually lower some spending. And
they wanted to use it as a chip to lower some spending. So they wanted to renegotiate the debt limit.
Perhaps reduce the government debt and the government deficit. And
in hopes that eventually they can reduce the government debt.
They're worried that just by going ahead and raising it now, yeah, they might have to deal with it in a messy battle during the Trump administration.
If they have to raise it now, they'll deal with a messy battle during the Trump administration.
But they could at least get a win when it comes to reducing the debt and the deficit. And so a number of them are concerned. Chip Roy's been outspoken on it. And then, of course, you've seen this now back and forth where Trump has come out on Truth Social, has criticized Chip Roy.
Yo, that's the name of that site, man. Shout out to Truth Social. Man, Truth Social, in case you don't know what that is, it's like Trump, I guess it's ran by Elon Musk. I don't know. But it's an app where the people can vote. Like they want to hear what the people have to say. They will literally pass bills on what the people are saying, at least creating an illusion that the people have some say so, that the people can vote on their own bills. Now I don't know how real it is, but what the Trump administration is doing using Musk is giving people a more like hands-on approach to government. It's giving people, something new, using technology in a way where the people feel involved with the lawmaking and the decisions that the country make. And so a lot of what you're going to see Trump do is going to be based on what he believes the people want, right? But we'll see.
And now Chip Roy has come back and said he's going to continue to fight for it. So many debates ahead.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Emily,
Chuck Woolery here. All right, so let me go. Let me go here. Y'all hear it. The government may still shut down. I think they're gonna work it out. Somebody said, Newbury, you got trolls. Here, let me do something about that real quick. Let me see. Let me see here. All right, let's get rid of that person here. Real simple stuff here. Yes, this person is no longer a commenter. Got me fucked up. Real simple stuff here. So everybody's running around like chickens with their head cut off, worried about the government being shut down. Look, this is what I'm going to say. Follow the Most High. And the question is, do you really want to work for this government? Do you really want to be a government employee during this time? I mean, if that's what you do to provide for your family at the moment, I want you to think about something. This is the Roman Empire. This is a Babylonian system. And I remember coming up in Washington, D.C., everybody wanted a government job. Everybody, because that's what it was about. You know, D.C., everybody grow up, get a government job. The government can shut down. The government has a lot of issues and they do a lot of things that's wrong. Look, we can work for ourselves. We should, look, here's the interesting part of it. Children of God should have their own government. We should have our own government. All of the decisions that they're trying to come up with, we should be doing that amongst each other, empowering ourselves. That's how I feel about it. All it would take for you to do is come together with your people. Somebody said, teach King, Genesis 1:28, be fruitful and multiply. Absolutely. Somebody says, no matter which side you are on, I think we can agree that the top 5% own the wealth. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if we can get one more synopsis just to make sure. We got the House Speaker on the bill. Let's see what the House got to talk about.
Process. Sometimes it takes a while to reach consensus, but we're going to do the right thing here tonight. The American Relief Act of 2024.
You hear that, y'all? So everybody's worried about the government being shut down. As we were streaming live, it's coming out that they're going to have a sit down and pan things out. Hopefully it's done in time. Apparently, what Trump and Elon Musk did, it worked.
Process. Sometimes it takes a while to reach consensus, but we're going to do the right thing here tonight. The American Relief Act of 2024 will provide temporary funding to get us into the first part of next year. We're excited about that because Republicans will have control of the White House and the Senate and the House, and we'll be able to make the...
It looks like they pretty much all but came up with an agreement here. This is breaking.
Key decisions about funding for the 2025 fiscal year. So this will allow us the opportunity to do that. In addition, we're going to take care of Americans who have suffered true devastating emergencies and disasters. We had, of course, a record hurricane.
There you go, y'all. That it worked. Trump and Elon, it worked. They're going to give that disaster relief. Yep. Now, y'all know me, man. I go right down the middle. I can see when the Democrats do something wrong. I can see when the Republicans do something wrong. And that was a good move because it worked. In business, sometimes that's what you got to do. And now they got what they wanted out of the deal. It's all but done. Pretty soon, somebody's going to be signing and the ink is going to be drying and everything is everything. Let's go.
True devastating emergencies and disasters. We had, of course, a record hurricane season with Helene and Milton that did real damage across as many as 6 states. There's $100 billion to provide much needed relief to those people, those Americans who have really been struggling and still are from those storms. And in addition to that, we have $10 billion of emergency aid to our farmers and ranchers. Many of the small farms in America are on the verge of collapse.
Hey, good job. Well, I be. Sound like a W for Trump to me. Sound like a W for the country. $10 billion towards small farms. Yeah, that's a win. That's a win. Somebody said, come on, Bree, they all part of the cabal. Yes, yes, and yes. But you got to understand, the Most High control everything, the right and left. Even if, let me explain it to you like this. Even if these people on the right side are doing stuff for selfish gain, the Most High still operating on the right-hand side. He's still going to make sure certain things come to fruition. So I understand that. But in all, in this scenario, that's a W. That's a W that there's going to be some aid for farmers. I know some farmers, particularly in the Carolinas. I know some farmers who are probably celebrating right now because the small farmers are suffering. And there's money, and there's supposed to be money going towards that. So I think that's a good thing. Honestly, that's good news. That's good news for us. That's good news for us because we have a farm down south. And you know, we ain't fitting to get our help. Like, I ain't gonna say what we fitting to do. I don't need to put my business out there, but our business out there. But yes, that's beneficial to what we're trying to build as well. So that's just good news. We need that.
Small farms in America are on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
Primarily because of Bidenomics and inflation.
Because of Bidenomics and inflation.
Cost of inputs and fertilizer and seed and everything that they need to keep those farms going. And they've had 3 lost years in a row. Some of it because
our farm is food. Our farmland is food, man. Don't y'all get it? We need them farms. We need the soil to be able to produce. We need it to be affordable. That's how we get our vegetation and our fruits.
Because of drought, a lot of it because of the economics of it, and it doesn't make sense for lenders to provide them funding anymore. And so this is a stopgap measure to save those farms, to save food production in America, to ensure that we have that diversity in the marketplace, and our food supply is directly related to national security. So it's a very, very important thing for both parties to do to provide that aid. We also have a clean extension of the Farm Bill, a clean extension of health extenders that are necessary, and a couple of other details. Everything that I just told you was negotiated in a bipartisan fashion. Both parties agreed to these terms, and that's what's on the floor right now. The only change in this legislation is that we are going to push the debt limit to January 30th of 2027. We will push it beyond that, or to that time point, and that will allow us to do the important work of governing in the new Congress. Why does that matter?
So now they're in agreement because they were about to shut it down. And they had pushed the debt limit to January 30th of 2027. So they're pushing the debt limit back.
Because we are committed to cutting hundreds of billions of dollars of wasteful spending out of the federal budget. That's what we're going to do. The Doge effort with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the commitments that President Trump made on the campaign trail will come to fruition when we get about that very important work for the American people. The government is too big, it does too many things, and it does very few things well. We're going to cut and limit the size and scope of the government and get it under control for the American people. We have a mandate to do so. President Trump received 77 million votes in the election. House Republicans, 74.7 million votes, the most in history. We know what we are to do. We're determined to do that. And even though this vote would push the debt limit to 2027, it in no way reflects any lack of enthusiasm on our part to get about those serious cuts for the American people. We have to have fiscal responsibility as a core principle of our party. So that's what the House Republicans are committed to, every single one of them. We will get together and do that work, and it begins in early January. I hope that this vote passes tonight. We will send it to the Senate. We will extend funding, and we'll come back, and we will have the America First agenda come in roaring in January for the American people. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, hey, we witnessed this live and direct. I came on here to do a stream called Pending Government Shutdown. And while we were streaming, I broke down what was taking place. Number one, Trump and Elon, they gave the Democrats a ultimatum. Look, if y'all don't come to a deal that can offer more relief for hurricane victims, people in crisis, if y'all not going to offer more support for healthcare, not healthcare, but child care, and you're going to, increase the pay for Congress and do these various things, we're going to shut down the government. And what ended up happening, within seconds, not seconds, minutes, within minutes, now we have it. Within minutes, they came to the table with an agreement. Now, some of y'all was like, oh, the Republicans going to ruin this and ruin that. No, the Republicans just got a W because that's how you do business. Somebody said that was not said. What you talking about? Somebody said this brother probably can't even vote. Yes, I can vote. Somebody said the woman clothed with the sun wearing shoes from Israel. What? Yo, so that's the news right there. Let me see what you the people got to say, man. Let me see. Somebody says maybe they want people to buy Mongo bots. What is Mongo bots? Somebody said Democrats and Republicans are chess pieces. We must be the game masters. That's a fact. Now, of course, I'm not pro-right, pro-left. I just go right down the middle. People want me to cover the news. People actually like hearing my political thoughts. People want to hear, at some point I've become somewhat of a political analyst. I don't know how that ended up happening. Yes, that's right. I'm pro Holy Spirit. I'm pro Most High. I'm pro truth. Somewhere down the line, people start liking my take on Trump when I'm speaking about what's going on in politics. So, I let it be known because there'd be a lot of confusion out here. There'd be people out here just don't know what's really happening. Let me see. Casper on that says, I don't see your Make Concubine Great Again hats on shop anymore. It should still be up there. We just ran out. And if you don't see them up there, we will have them back. And there's some items that are not in stock right now. And listen, if any of you brothers or sisters have had any of your orders on hold, please check your address again. Please check your address. Literally trace your packages. Check your address because some of y'all are not putting your address. You're forgetting your address numbers and things like that when you do your orders. It will be put on hold if the address is not accurate when you're ordering any merchandise. So I just thought I would announce that to y'all. Somebody said, hopefully we are not going to be living in Hunger Games. I think they come into an agreement. They're coming to an agreement. I'm glad that they gave them an ultimatum. It was needed. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Somebody says, now we playing Mario Brothers. Is there any questions before we hit the hour mark? Y'all know how I do it. Might as well finish up the hour. But if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns regarding this topic or regarding what's going on in the States, let me know. Are there any UFOs above you? I'm pretty sure there are. I'm pretty sure there's some UFOs out there. I'm almost certain. How do you feel about Elon Musk, bro? I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust Elon Musk. And the reason being is because he's the same guy who wants to hook a neural link up to people's brains and be able to transfer one person's consciousness to the next. He claimed to be an alien several times. Several times. Elon also has a lot of odd ideas that I can't stand behind. He wants to replace mankind with artificial intelligence. So no, I don't. That's how I feel about him. Now, what just transpired, that was necessary. Let's see. There was a couple questions. Are we going to do more Bible studies? Yes, we will. You get a plethora of content over here. You get Bible studies. You get everything over here. Motivational talks. You get politics. You get it all over here. What world news stations do you tune into, Brother New Breed? I've been trying to find some. I tend to watch Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera. What's your favorite Bible verse? I don't have a favorite verse. A favorite book would be the book of Psalms or Proverbs or something to that level. Probably the book of Proverbs. Thank you. Love Peace says your content is fantastic, New Breed. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, somebody says they are going to make recommendations to cut government waste. Why is that so dividing? Why is that so dividing? Because you got, that's a great question. The reason why that's dividing, because you got people who are greedy. You got people who are greedy. You got people who stand a lot to lose. You got people who can stand a lot to lose that don't want to cut off the fat because that's taking money out their pockets. But as soon as you start threatening to cut everybody pay, then everybody start negotiating. People get on the right track. Then people start getting on the right. You see how quick we figured it out. Y'all gonna shut the government down? Oh no. Because Trump and them already got money. They like, look, all right, y'all won't give us this towards this. How about nobody eat? That's when people start changing. When nobody eat, it's like, all right, hey, look, now don't be hasty now. That's how it happened. Don't be hasty now. Look, nobody getting a check. Oh, we don't get no check at all now. Nah, we'll go ahead and sit down. That's what happened. Y'all just witnessed it. Y'all just witnessed it live. That's what took place. Somebody said one thing that when you walk through the door, hell no, I ain't going through no doors. Hell no, I ain't going through no doors. I don't even like how that sound when you walk through the door. Nope. I'm good. I keep the following I got. I don't need to have millions of views every time I post. I ain't trying to go through the YouTube door. I ain't trying to go through the Hollywood door. I ain't finna go through no damn doors. Nope. Keep them doors locked. Not interested. Somebody say, I'm jumping out the window. Forget the door. For real. But anyway, man, all praises to the Most High. Hey, look, bless y'all. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the broadcast. I got more coming soon. With that being said, shalom. Peace.